Life of a mobile mechanic. Today we're doing a coil and spark plug swap on a 2019 Encore. This is our first job in the morning. So let's get a move on. This is the rig that we got here. It's a 2006 150, loaded out, tools and everything. Gets it done, gets the job done, does well. It's a 4.2 liter V6. Let's get a move on it. Let's get going and see what we can do. I've already got some of the tools set up over there, but we do need our CalHawk spark plug socket set. It's the master set here. I've got the deck system with the jacks, the cones, no, the normal. We've got our shade set up here. Of course, our fan set up here as well. Already pulled the top of the cover off the motor. We're going after these simple Torx bits here. These look to be about 230, so we read the 230. This side has my bits and my boxes and all the stuff that's kind of like used here and there, not used completely every day. Need to reorganize. This week was fairly busy and didn't have a chance to do much, so what do we say, 230 on that one? Grab our adapter real quick. I know, I need to reorganize. I know, I do know, I know. And of course, our adapter's not in there. There she is. Alright, 230, we're just going to take off the coils right here. I've already got it unplugged. Pretty simple, super straightforward. Again, T30 Torx bit, and you're going to go ahead and just zap them off. Of course, you got to make sure you're in reverse. Alright, you've got this unplugged, your T30 bits are out, your little bolts. I'm going to go ahead and pop this off evenly. We are replacing this coil. It does have a weak spark. It's literally 4 in 1. It's just these two bolts and the one plug. This sucker just comes right out as a whole piece. Alright, and we're going to go ahead and take a look. We're looking for any oil in the spark plug holes. If we see any oil in there, we'll know that the gasket on the valve cover is no good. I did replace this valve cover not too long ago, so there shouldn't be any oil on there. Go ahead and we'll find our spark plug size. I believe these are 16 millimeters. On the removal of the spark plug, just run them out. Don't worry too much about cracking the ceramic or anything like that. Just run them out. These are the old spark plugs. We don't care too much about them, so we're just going to run them and gut them. That one's stuck in there pretty dang good, huh? That one's in there pretty rough. I don't really like how it's coming out. I'll grab the ratchet for that one. That one's in there pretty decent. And things are a bit of a mess. Need to get reorganized. I'll do that this weekend whenever I got some time off. Oh man, that one's tight. I'm gonna have to prop you guys up. I did not like the sound of that. This is the cylinder that was misfiring. Whoever did these plugs did something back here really bad. This one plug is just absolutely cross-threaded into the block. Not good at all. Not good. Alright, let's pull that thing out and see how she's looking. Okay, so actually, you know what? I think we got away with not having a cross thread into the block. It does look like it was just like, I don't know what that material is there. Some strange material. But hey, she came out. Look at that. Yeah. Alright. We get the magnet, we'll get the rest of these out, and then we'll get this stuff kind of cleaned out. Yeah, that truck is a mess. Alright, so I got the magnet. Usually on your spark plug sockets, you're going to have a rubber grommet that's inside there. As you can tell in here, the rubber grommet's kind of deteriorated or fell off at some point. Whenever you're pulling these plugs out, you want to try to not let anything fall into the holes. You can kind of see where there was oil sitting on here before. Now again, I did do this valve cover gasket, so we shouldn't have any oil or any kind of issues with the valve cover itself. Now you will see deterioration on these plugs in some areas. This is just dielectric, that's not really deterioration, but like on that other plug where you saw it was broken, that's typically what's going to cause your misfires. Is there's going to be a piece of porcelain or a piece of ceramic that's broken and causing a short pretty much. Alright, since we are replacing the plugs completely, we don't really care where they go. We're just going to go ahead and start plopping them in. One thing I do recommend using, and a lot of people don't use it, is going to be the anti-seize lubricant for your spark plugs. This is going to be very helpful for the future, so you don't run into those same problems that we did run into. We're using the Autolite XPs. It's supposed to be pretty decent. Alright. That didn't taste very good. On these, you're just going to go ahead and put a little bit on there. You don't need a lot, just a little bit. And then just go ahead and push it around. Just like that. That's all you need. You don't need to goop it up. Just need to give her a nice little blob. And then whenever you thread it in, all of that anti-seize is actually going to spread into the threads and into the block. It's going to help those spark plugs come back out. I was going to clear these holes out, but they are pretty clean as it is, and none of that ceramic fell off of that other spark plug, so we should be a-okay just to leave it how it is. Now if you do see debris in there, your best option is just to grab a vacuum and go ahead and vacuum it out real quick. Again, I did do those valve cover gaskets not too long ago, so it should be all good to go. No issues. And from what I could tell visually, it was nice and clean. This anti-seize spreads like no other, so if you get it on anything, just expect it to spread like crazy. Just try to keep my hands wiped off and clean, and I'm not spreading anti-seize all over the customer's vehicle. Then I'll throw it on like my box and whatnot just to make sure it doesn't get that. But now I gotta clean that off. Not that the customer cares, but I care. Alright, so now we've got all 4 of our spark plugs in. We're gonna go ahead and do those by hand. You do not want to use an impact or any type of automatic wrench, ratchet, or anything of those types. You do it by hand, go slow. You don't want to crack the ceramic. That'll cause a misfire, and you'll be replacing these plugs. And man, the prices of plugs are 12, 13, 14 bucks a pop now, depending on which ones you go with. Alright, now these, again, these are crush washer plugs. If you look on the old one, we've got the crush washer. So we need to make sure we get it tight by hand and then set it the rest of the way with the ratchet. The reason why I'm doing it by hand is so then I can make sure it's set into the spark plug threads, and I'm making sure that it's threading in completely and we don't have any issues with cross threads. Sometimes when you just start sending the plug in without making sure it's threading nicely, you have an issue with cross threading. Now here is that one dirty, or whatever's going on with that plug that we had an issue with getting out, where it's a little bit rough. So I'm going to go ahead and slowly send it with a ratchet, and we're going to see what happens. Alright, looks like we're probably okay. Like I said, after it came out, it wasn't cross-threaded like it felt, because it really did feel cross-threaded. But it feels like these threads are going to be okay. They are a little bit dirty, but we are threading in. I want to make sure this one's set completely, because if there's any issues, if I got to tap or clean out anything, I got to make sure I do it before I get too far in. Just get bit like ants. Yeah, so I mean, this one is tight. Those threads are definitely dirty, but at the same time, it's going in pretty smoothly. It's not hitting any binding. And I think about right here, we're at the crush washer now, so I'm going to go ahead and set this down right there. It's pretty tight now, and I'm going to go back to hand tightening. The only reason why I used the ratchet early on this one is specifically because that thread was all jacked. No hay gaskets. Infinity Vortex 333, what's up? Yes, I shout you out. Yeah, so this thread right here on this one, it was gummed up pretty badly. I thought maybe it was cross-threaded because the way this thing was coming out, if you go look, it was rough. But after I got it out, come to find out, these threads are like, they're gummed up with something. I did the valve cover gasket on this a while ago, but I did not do the spark plugs. They just couldn't do it at that time. And whenever I did the valve cover, I did make sure to clean everything up. As you can tell, it's fairly clean. But for some reason, this one was gummed up. Now, these are the original AC Delco plugs, so it might just be a case that it was original. What's up, KS Knights? I think that's how you pronounce it. Yeah, so we're just threading them all in by hand till they get fairly tight, and then we're going to go in with the ratchet, and we're going to go ahead and get them to the crush washer. Just crushes down. Now, typically on these, you want about 32 foot-pounds of torque, but for me, I do it till it pretty much just stops. Once it stops, I call it good. You can feel that crush washer really crushing. This is the one that was kind of gummed up, so we're going to go nice and easy with her. That seems pretty good. So what it is this crush washer right here has a bevel on it, and whenever you're tightening it down, the bevel crushes, and it creates a nice seal. So you got to make sure that you're tightening it down enough to make sure that crush washer is crushing. Otherwise, you'll have compression leak, or you'll have a misfire in a short amount of time. Just a lot of variables. Just make sure you're doing it right. It's either 32 or 28 foot-pounds of torque on these spark plugs. I mean, I don't really ever torque the spark plug just because I just don't see a reason to. Now again, you can feel the crush washer kind of hitting Once it hits the head, you just go ahead and send her down nice and slow. It's not a beveled end, so you don't have to worry about snapping something or breaking something, because you will feel that crush washer relieve its crush. All right, so we got the new coils here. As I said, we are replacing all of them because, of course, you can only replace all of them. So that's our new coil here. Simply just sets on top and press her down all the way. Go ahead and reuse our old bolts. Always recommend thread them in by hand, get them started by hand. You don't have to worry about cross threading. A lot of times with these aluminum heads and these steel threads, if you just go and send it, you're going to cross thread it. So you got to be fairly careful, especially when it comes to like these little ones. These little threads get binded up really easily. Looks like we're all good there. Nice thread there. And a quick zap with the impact. Set the impact to 1 torque level, which is anywhere from 12 to 20 foot-pounds of torque. Should be more than enough for these guys. Again, you got Torx bits, so you don't want to hit them too hard. You'll twist your bit out, you'll break something. Torx bits are kind of goofy in my opinion, but it is what it is. All right, we got that in, bolts tight. We're going to go ahead and move on to the plug. Simple. This latch, for reference, whenever you're removing this plug, you're going to slide it out like that. Push down, pull out. Installing the plug, you push it in. It'll clip down. Boom, she's locked in. All right, let's go ahead and get some tools off of here. Definitely do time for spark plugs, I'll tell you that much. This thing's gonna be running like a charm now. All right, this little cap is very straightforward. You just kind of clip her on. See right there, little lines there, plastic little attachment places. Once you get it lined up, boom. All right, we'll go ahead and we'll crank her up. We'll see what she's doing. Before she was rough idle. Oh yeah. She's back to normal. No more rough idle. Smooth as butter. That's always what I love to hear. Smooth as butter. Let's get this AC cranking. Whew. Golly, it's hot. All right. Successful repair. We went ahead and replaced the coils and the spark plugs. We're now looking at a nice idle. It's not bouncing up and down like it was anymore, and the rough idle is essentially gone. This thing was shaking like crazy, but we didn't have a check engine light. So whenever I pulled the live data on my scanner, it said that number 2 and number 4 were both weak. So what we did, we went ahead and replaced the spark plugs and the full coil because it is a coil rack. Now, as you can tell, this motor is running way better than it was. Well, you didn't see what it was running like before, but I tell you what, this thing looked like it was going to jump out of here. These are what the old spark plugs look like. It's definitely due time to replace them. And this was the number 2 spark plug when it came out. There we go. That'll be a job well done. I'll go ahead and I'll drive it for a good 10-15 minutes. And once she passes all my tests, we'll be good. All right. That's how you do coils and spark plugs on a 2019 Buick Encore. Catch us again tomorrow when we come live. Until then, have a good one.